Tally bloody ho, chaps. Um, Fine morning, bit of blue sky, can't be bad. Um, Lots of things to do today, so we're going to crack on. Uh, First, I guess, is going to be the chimneys. Um, it seems like I saw some YouTuber the other day who predicted um, there being a bit of a hot tent phase this winter, and he predicted this 3 months ago, and I think he may be right. So here's an option of a chimney design. It's very simple and very cheap. Um, in fact, it costs nothing. So that is brilliant. But it's two products that I happen to like are evaporated milk with my coffee. Um, I don't know why, I just prefer it when I'm outside. Not so much inside, but outside it reminds me of the old trawler boats and things like that, where they would take their milk on long expeditions in tins. It doesn't actually last any longer once it's open, but in its tin form it lasts for ages unopened. So we've got evaporated milk and beef ravioli. Uh, it's okay. Not my favourites, but this tin is a ring pull tin. This tin I have to use a tin opener for. They seem to be the two main standard types of tin. The evaporated milk one, this is Morrison's, although I think any evaporated milk is okay. I've used Carnation as well. The point is that it's a tin that you have to take off. So there's no ledge inside there. But there is, in this one, there's a little ledge. I don't know if you can make that out. So things are getting a bit fierce over here. I've got two fires going and I'm very warm. Yeah, so basically they do clip in like that. Obviously not the strongest. A knock on it would dislodge it eventually. There you go. But it's good enough to get going with, and I've found that as the more you use them, the more that connection becomes more solid, and also when it rusts up a little bit and stuff like that. But that is perfectly fine as a 2 tin chimney, because it's surprising you don't really need that much. If I point you at my chimneys and stoves, this 3 chimney stack is just enough to get it out and away. The 4 chimney stack is probably ideal, and it's just as easy to do a 4 one as it is a 3 one, so I don't know why that is a 3 one. Probably the first one I made. But what happens is you can obviously put these two together, then make another pair of these, so you've got 4, put them together, but then make a join in between the evaporated milk and the evaporated milk. There needs to be a join in between there. The easiest, well, I kind of over-engineered it, I think, to be honest. Let's find my glove. I thought I had it on me. That's over here. On this part, I'd maybe like a few suggestions as to making this simplified because this is overcomplicated. I've over-engineered it, but that said, it is not going to come off. And that's 2 bolts with, on each bolt, I've got 2 nuts, one on the inside, one on the outside. And then if you look, you can see they're joined in that manner with a piece of wire just twisted around the 2 bolts. Inside there, what I did add, I've got an example here. Again, doesn't cost anything. But we've got good old Stanley knife. Don't ruin your good knives on metal, it's just going to dull them. Stanley knives, you know, you don't care, do you? Replace the blades, no problem. And they're good enough to get through this tin with a bit of patience and carefulness. So that, I then drill 2 holes in that, or not drill, you can use your little Swiss Army reamer. I don't know why, I call it a gouger, but I think it's called a reamer. But you twist a hole in there and you just twist it rapidly backwards, forwards, make a hole in each end where you want the bolts to go in. So mark those off first, put your holes in, then put that on the inside of the tins with the bolt coming through and a nut to pull it up nice and tight. So these 2 tins, they aren't going anywhere. They are, I feel safe that they're stuck together perfectly. And with this one, I'm sure this is going to be hot. Put that carefully down there. You'll notice I'm using an oven glove, and you really do bloody need them. This is really hot. It's coming through the metal glove a little bit. So I'll quickly show you this. Not the metal glove, the fireproof glove. Yeah, it's even too hot for the fireproof glove really to hold. So you can see what I've done there. 2 evaporated milk in the middle, and either side probably a spaghetti or baked beans, a ring pull tin basically on the outsides. That way you can get 4 cans with 1 joint. So I don't think, well, you might need a bigger chimney, and it would be a simple case of, like I say, these don't come off, these ends. They're well and truly on there now, especially after I've used them a bit. So you could easily double that, and then you've only got 2 joins. Actually, yeah, you would need a join here to connect the next 4 and the join that I've got there. So for another 2 joins, you could have an 8 stack. Now an 8 stack is actually going to be, that's a 7 stack. This incidentally is a larger tin you can get. I believe that hot dogs is an option. Large hot dogs, you know, those mass produced funfair hot dogs. Or in this case, this is Nescafe Americano, large tin. But that's quite expensive, but I like that. I drink that, so with my evaporated milk. See where the thought process is behind this, can't you? So this is obviously a lot longer, considerably longer. It's probably an extra third or more. So if you change the tins, these small tins that I've got on here, which are just standard bean tins, whatever, exchange those for the larger size tins, which is the giant hot dogs, or the Nescafe Americano and deep roast, whatever they call them. They do a range in large tins. So we're talking about that much height then, which is a nice difference to that. So 2 lots of those, you're going to be talking way up there, and that should be a long enough chimney for most, I would think. But obviously, the longer the chimney, the better the suction that you're going to get, the higher up in the air you're going to be, so that you can catch the wind. A chimney action, obviously, I'm probably boring you people that know all these things, but it helps to explain. A chimney works by the wind blowing over the top of the chimney. In fact, the whole fire depends upon that. Some days you won't get much wind and you'll have blowbacks and things like that coming back through the chimney. But you need the wind to go across. That creates a suction, a pull through this chimney, which ultimately will pull through your stove and also pull through any intake you've got going into the stove. So it's all driven really by the chimney, how much suction you can get through that. The intake is important because you've got to burn the fire. That's obviously part of the process of fire. So you have to supply enough wind in the intake to get the fire going, enough for it to utilize this chimney when the wind blows over top of it and draws it out. So that's basically chimneys and my methods. I would like any extra ideas on how I could connect these 2 tins together. So please pop them in the comments. A penny for your thoughts as always. But this is over-engineered what I've done. It's took quite a long time and it didn't need to be that way. I'm sure of it. There's a much easier way of doing this. I know there is. Just can't quite grasp it at the moment. But yeah, ideally I would like a telescopic one, which obviously is going to be a bit more engineering, isn't it? I would have to cut through the whole tin, squeeze it in a little bit, and that would then fit in that one and, you know, carry on going up. You'd end up with a smaller chimney, but I don't think that matters hugely. It does matter, but not maybe hugely. Telescopic for the portable reasons. Portability. If you had all this that would go into one tin, it would be quite good, wouldn't it? Space saving would be incredible. So that's the ultimate, is the telescopic chimney out of bean cans. Haven't tried to do it yet, and you should be able to do it. But at the moment, I've got chimneys and they work. So it's more about keeping warm at the moment than anything. On the hot box or firebox that I've got here, which has nearly gone out, I've got this was a baking tray. I believe I just Stanley knifed those out carefully. Once you've been cut by a metal, you shouldn't really be cut twice, not badly. So do everything carefully, and that's as simple as that. That has taken all the heat that I've thrown at it yet, and it hasn't warped. That was part of a mini oven that came with the mini oven. You can buy similar things. All it was a grilling tray, which is no different to the ones you see in Morrison's for £2 or something. So yeah, that's cheap. If you haven't already got one laying around. So we'll put that back on there. I suppose you could have cut those sharp bits off for portability, but I'm not too worried about the portability side at the moment, and they do hold these cans on just a little bit better not much, but a little bit of grip on them. If you twist them out and then, you know what I mean. So that is basically a simple thing that I found out through trial and error more than anything. Like most things, the best inventions are born from necessity. You just need something. The more you need it, the more chance you are likely to succeed with it, I think, because you've got the extra boost of necessity. I need this to work. And it's easy to cast some projects off straight away and just give up on that project. Whereas I've found just put it aside for a bit, come back to it later, often wields really good results. Sometimes it just takes a sleep on it. You wake up in the morning and suddenly all the ideas are there. I think that's what they mean by sleep on it, because it really can look very different in the morning. So I'll put my chimneys back on, the right ones, and I think that covers it. I like to weigh this down. I don't think I need to, but I just like the idea of it being pushed onto it, like so. I'll block the firebox off with the wind because this can really chew through wood. Both of these can. They're both jet burners. Fully efficient with the wood use, hardly any waste, but they can really chew up wood quite quickly, especially running two of them. So I'm going to let this one go out because I was only using that while I was getting this one ready, really, because this is a little bit more preparation to get going. This is quite simple. So was that, really. It's not too difficult. But that is an update on chimneys. Thanks for watching.